I was nervous about seeing this wireless printing up by myself at home without IT help. It was super easy to set up on my laptop as well as my smartphone. I've never printed from my phone before, but it certainly makes life easier. So far the printer has been a delight. Stays connected, even if I haven't used it in a day or two. Fast printing. I still haven't gotten to printing photos on photo paper yet. I did print a test photo on normal paper and it printed fine. Yes, LaserJets are more expensive but way better than buying ink all of the time. You get what you pay for. We publish music books and print flyers, etc., so we need high-quality laser printing. We've tried other brands but HP has always outperformed them. As you would expect from an all-in-one, it does have some heft, but we have it on a sturdy wood printer cart and it works no problem. Initial setup is simple with only the power cord necessary. You can then turn on the wireless and connect it to your network, 2G or 5G. I downloaded the software from HP, 240 megabytes, and installed on 3 computers in about 5 minutes each. The software has all the utilities for scanning, faxing, printing, and copying. If your computer is connected to the same Wi-Fi network, it finds the printer right away and you're good to go. It also works with the HP Smart app, and I was able to find it right away on my iPhone and Android tablet and print from it with no issues. We had the M281fdw before and loved it, so upgrading to this M283fdw was an easy choice. A couple notes. If you're going to connect wirelessly and wired, do not plug in the Ethernet cord until after you have connected to the Wi-Fi network. Also, if you're going to use the fax, plug in the phone cords before launching the setup software so you can set the parameters from the software, which is easier than doing it from the touchscreen. Great printer. The only thing I don't like is how small the touchscreen is. Very easy setup and prints great copies. The paper drawer is a bit small but it works. I think it's worth the extra money. We've been needing a new printer for a while now, and patching up our old printer has got to be too much of a pain, so when this one became available we jumped on it. It seemed like it took forever for it to become available. The printer arrives in the factory HP box, and it has heavy shipping labels all over it. They're not kidding. It's a heavy box, get help to lift it. Opening the box, you have a quick start booklet and a bright orange pictograph telling you what the opening procedure is to remove the printer from the box. Also on the top of the box, you have several needed accessories: a telephone cord, a power cord, and a USB cable. I think that it's convenient HP gives you all the cables you need to get you up and running. Too many manufacturers these days don't seem to include all the needed cables. Kudos, HP. To safely remove your printer from the box, according to the pictograph, you lay it on its side and slide it out. While there is a pictograph on the bright orange paper as showing the method to slide it out of the box, it still took 2 of us to do it because it wasn't that easy to pull out. I went through and pulled off all of the tapes that held things in place during shipping. They made that fairly easy, by having the tapes being an orange-red color, and there weren't that many pieces to remove. I've had printers in the past that had many pieces of tape holding things together. Putting this on the shelf where we had our old printer and hooking up the cables again took 2 of us to do. Again, this printer is very heavy. I think the book says it weighs about 41 pounds, so definitely not easy to juggle. When hooking up your printer, do not hook up the USB cable until the installation program tells you to do so. For some reason, HP has that as a physical step to the software installation. To install the printing software, they don't give you a disk, like in the olden days. Instead, they direct you to the manufacturer's website to download the newest set of drivers. This makes sense to me, because they're always having to update drivers, and almost everybody has an internet connection these days. After putting in the model number of the printer, it sent me to a page to get the app, in this case from the Microsoft Store, to install the HP Smart app and set up the printer on my computer. The app recommends hooking up your computer using the wireless setup, or the Ethernet setup as a secondary, with a USB connection as a third option. I chose the USB option, as my main PC does not have wireless, and is hardwired. Installing it in this manner, setup was finished in less than 2 minutes, and Windows found the printer easily. The default printer options for duplex printing, so if you only want to print on one side of the page you must manually change it. When attempting to do my test print I got a warning message that it had an incompatible cartridge. I thought this was a little strange since those are the cartridges that came in it. I clicked on the troubleshoot and it says, wrong cartridge in slot. Remove cartridge and reinsert making sure it is in the correct slot. Trying that now. Checking the cartridges, it seems that they were in the wrong slots. Evidently, in the factory, they put them in the toner tray in the wrong order. Once I placed them in the correct order and turned it back on, the machine took a moment to hum and warm up the cartridges. I then manually printed a print information sheet offered on the touchscreen readout, and it printed that with no problem. Going back to the HP Smart Control program, and had a message saying that it was initializing with an error. It said that the toner was installed, but it could not authenticate the cartridges because internet access wasn't possible. I haven't set up the Ethernet for this machine yet, so that might be the problem. Just for the heck of it, I am going to the other HP website that is listed in the instructions and download a full software driver program and manually installing that way without using the HP Smart program. The full driver download package from HP.com also includes an OCR program and an HP usage program that will send them information on your printer usages. If you choose to manually allow or deny that part of the setup, you can have a little more control over what gets installed. The HP software that governs the install without using the HP Smart app for Microsoft also has a fax setup wizard which will come in handy if you plan on using the fax in addition to the normal setup in this manner. In addition to the setup in this manner, it also registers your printer for your WA. And fiddling about with the settings between USB connected, wireless, and Ethernet, it appears that you cannot set up the printer to use all three of those at the same time. You have to choose one manner of connecting and run the setup for that particular type. For example, in my setup, my main computer needs to use the printer with a USB cable. I would like to be able to print wirelessly from tablets and laptops in the house, but cannot use wireless printing and USB printing at the same time. There's no easy way to switch between the two. I'm thinking, to change between wireless printing and USB printing you have to run as complete installation program again. This is not very convenient at all, and perhaps there's something the software engineers can do to facilitate being able to print from multiple sources without running a complete installation program every time. Correction to the last statement. It appears that you can install the USB drivers and the Ethernet drivers. You just have to do the two separate installation procedures. I can print from my main computer using the USB cable and was able to install the HP Print Service plugin on my phone and print documents from there as well. I was also able to install the HP Smart app on a different networked computer, Wi-Fi's, and print from it with no problems. In conclusion, is this printer expensive? A little, yes. Are the toner cartridges pricey? Yes, they are, but I think it's worth it. Received in factory packaging. Easily unpacked. No boo-boos. Setup was minimal from start to finish. No network connection problems. Smooth integration into our existing Bluetooth network. Print quality. Standard BW printing is pristine. Color brochure printing is professional grade. Photo printing is more than satisfactory with careful application using the correct, HP recommended papers. All total, we are so very satisfied and glad to have made the switch from inkjet to laser. Exclamation mark. This is the best printer I have ever had. I love the fact that I can print directly from my phone, even though it cost a little extra. I would definitely recommend this printer to anyone looking for a great quality, fast printing. The performance is fantastic. Although I read in other comments it does not print photos well at all. Since I don't print photos, it's perfect for me and my small business at home. The HP M283fdw is a perfectly fine color laser printer. Its multifunction capabilities are solid, but it may not be the best option for Mac users due to lack of good Mac software and problem scanning. Also, while a good laser printer can provide cost savings in consumables, the toner for the M283fdw is quite expensive and there are 4 of them: black, cyan, magenta, and yellow, with a total price of about $285 for the whole lot. I did some math comparing the ink cartridges from my HP inkjet multifunction printer, and to my surprise, I can actually come out ahead on a per-page basis with my inkjet printer in the long run. However, that doesn't take into account that inkjet printers often waste color ink in order to print black. As far as I'm aware, laser printers don't have the same problem. So if you do print primarily in black, the laser printer might actually have the better per-page cost. Also, laser printers tend to be more reliable than inkjets, and my own personal experience confirms this. Setup took less than 10 minutes. All the toner is already pre-installed, so all I had to do was plug it in, turn it on, and choose my Wi-Fi network from the touchscreen display. It showed up on my network and I added it to my computer, and that was that. I appreciate that a USB cable was included in the box, but I prefer using Wi-Fi. The 250 sheet tray is great, so I don't have to refill paper as frequently, and the manual slot in the front for address labels and envelopes is easy to use. Printing performance is very good and it doesn't take long to warm up after powering on. Duplex printing works great, and when I use good paper, two-sided printing works great. It does curl 20 pounds paper slightly, but nothing major. Not everything about the HP M283fdw is great though. I have some annoyances I'd like to mention. 1. When the printer enters sleep mode, the white light on the power button flashes every 4 seconds or so. It's not a pulsing glow, it's a distracting flash. 2nd, when the printer actually receives a print job, it gets really loud. Forget stealth printing with this printer. Mind you, I'm using this in my home office, so noise is more of a consideration to me than if I were buying it for an office setting. Lastly, and the worst part of the M283fdw, I couldn't get scanning to work on a Mac, at all. I've had issues with my HP inkjet too, so it's not a unique problem to the M283fdw. HP doesn't seem to do a good job with software for Macs, which is disappointing. It'd be nice to scan the occasional photo and documents, but to be honest, there are a lot of good alternatives, so I'm not overly upset. I can scan casual photos with the Google PhotoScan mobile app and scan documents with the iOS Notes app. I also have a terrific desktop document scanner for bigger jobs. Just know that if you have a Mac and plan to use the M283fdw for scanning, you may or may not find success with it. Overall, I really like the M283fdw, and depending on how much color printing you actually do, may save you money on consumables. It performs very well as a printer and copier. I don't fax, so I have nothing to say about it. If I ever get it to scan on a Mac, I'll definitely give it 5 out of 5 stars, but until then, it's a solid 4/5. I got this printer to replace a monochrome LaserJet printer that was no longer compatible with my recently updated home network. I've been wanting to upgrade to a color LaserJet printer for a while, and the fact that this one works over Wi-Fi made it perfect for my needs. Setup was simple and straightforward. There are no discs or anything to worry about. Does any program come on a disk anymore? And I didn't even have to use the included USB cable. Once I plugged the printer into an outlet, all I needed was my laptop and an internet connection. *BTW, the printer box says that minimum system requirements for macOS are v10. 12 Sierra and up, but my ancient MacBook Pro is running v10. 11L Capitan, and I didn't have any problems at all. Setup was a breeze. Once the printer was set up, it printed a test page with the links to support, the printer's email address, which I have not had to use yet, and a claim code with which to create an HP account, which I also have not bothered with, and it gave me a message with a link to send to the rest of the household. I didn't bother with the link because I tried printing something from my phone and it was easy as can be. I didn't need to download any apps or anything. I just went to the picture I wanted to print, tapped the Share symbol, selected Print Page, and selected the HP from the little drop-down menu, and it printed right away. No fuss. I did end up downloading the HP Smart app on my iPad though, just to make resizing easier, and it works very well. Just make sure your device is connected to the same Wi-Fi network as the printer, and you can print. It's super easy. It's so easy my boyfriend can do it, and he doesn't know what a modem is. If he can do it, anyone can. The only color printers I've ever had were all inkjet, and they left a lot to be desired. I don't know if all LaserJet color printers are better or if it's just this one, but either way, I am very impressed with the color printing. I haven't tried it with photo paper yet, but even on regular paper and printed labels the color has impressive depth and clarity. It also prints a lot faster than any color printer I've had before. Click link in description for purchase and more reviews.